Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another value breakdown. Today Games Workshop have announced their Warhammer 40K Battle Force collections for Christmas 2020 alongside their Age of Sigmar brothers in that game system, but being a 40K channel we're going to be focusing on the 6 ones that they have announced today. We're going to start with the financially least value in content, work our way up to the most valuable in content, and as we go we'll have a little talk about the contents and whether they're actually in-game value as well as financial value. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. The first battle force I want to be talking about then is the new one for the Chaos Space Marines. And the reason we're starting with Chaos Space Marines, the Decimator Warband, is because this is financially the lowest value box set. It contains 10 Chaos Space Marines at a value of £35, 5 Havocs at £32.50, 5 Chaos Terminators at £35, and 1 Mauler Fiend / Forge Fiend kit for £45, plus a Chaos Lord with a Thunderhammer for £17.50, with a grand total of £165 in total. However, not all is lost here, although it is only £165 and the other 5 box sets are financially better. We still don't know the true figure of the RRP for each box set. Games Workshop last year did have a slight variance between about £100 to £110, but this year the Games Workshop prices have risen slightly throughout the year, so we could be expecting to see something increase here. But bearing in mind, even if it is £115, we're still going to be saving ourselves £50 in value. However, the true value in this kit is the actual contents. For a bland, yeah, I'm saying bland because it's not Emperor's Children or Thousand Sons or Death Guard or anything a little bit more exciting. It is the Ultramarines of the Chaos Forces, it is the Black Legion. However, the models are still very, very good. The Mauler Fiend and Forge Fiend kits are awesome. Space Marines and Havocs are going to be a mainstay in most Chaos Forces. Havocs are exceptionally good these days. The Chaos Lord with the Thunderhammer, yeah, I'm not sold on him. I don't really like the model, to be honest, but it is what it is. So, from a content perspective, you're probably going to find all of these models in a good spot to be in a Chaos Force. The next battle force I want to talk about is the new Space Marine Interdiction Force. This contains a Captain in Phobos armour for £22.50, 10 Infiltrator / Incursors which cost £35, 10 Reavers, again £35, an Invictor Warsuit at £37.50, and an Impulsor Transport for £45. The grand total for all of that is £175, so £10 more in value than the Chaos Space Marines Decimator Warband. Bear in mind, the image that Games Workshop have published only shows 9 Reavers and not 10, so there's a mistake to start with. But when we're talking about the contents of this force, I really question it. I don't see very often, outside of very casual play or in any kind of casual lists, Reavers and Infiltrators or Incursors. They are dreadful. And with the new core mechanic introduced recently in the 9th edition Space Marine Codex and the generic rules, the Invictor Warsuit doesn't come with the core keyword, unlike a Redemptor Dreadnought, for example. So a lot of the buffs that the Invictor would typically need are no longer available. So suddenly it's become out of favour, despite some of the other cool rules that it has. As such, this box set feels to me like a list of leftovers from the Games Workshop warehouse of stuff they've not sold this year or selling recently and they've overstocked on it. If I was wanting to expand my Space Marine force, no matter what faction or chapter within the Space Marine force, I would probably want to be saving my money for the teased releases of some of the heavy intercessors and other kits that we know are coming along, like the Gladiator tank, for example. So if I had this £100-ish to spend on a battle force and I wanted Space Marines, this isn't probably where I would be spending my money. Next on the list then is the Astra Militarum, the Imperial Guard Bastion Platoon. Within this we're going to get 20 Guardsmen, which cost £50, a Command Squad for £22.50, a Heavy Weapons Squad, that's 3 bases of heavy weapons for £25, a Sentinel or Scout Sentinel variant for £22.50, the Hydra/Wyvern kit for £35, and a Chimera Transport for £30. Again, we come out at £185 in total value. Now, the interesting thing about this is it's almost identical to the Games Workshop listed Cadian Defence Force set, which has almost exactly the same contents except the Hydra, and it's got a Lehman Russ instead. Now, that's currently out of stock, like many things on Games Workshop's site, but that does give us a ballpark figure of value here, because that is listed on their web store at £110. Sorry. Weirdly enough, another image error posted by Games Workshop showing this off is that it shows 21 guardsmen instead of 20. So a copy and paste on their Photoshop editor when they were putting that image together. Now again, going back into value of this set. Now, every Guards player that I know swears by Lehman Russ tanks in lots of squadrons, and if you haven't got enough Lehman Russes, you're playing it wrong. So for me, based on that, is this any good? Or is this now aimed at people that have already got their 100 Lehman Russes and they just want lots of infantry? Because this is a 50-50 kind of thing for me. You get quite a lot of infantry with the command squad, the guardsmen, and the heavy weapons, and then you get sort of 3 vehicles. So it is a good mix for that. And my general understanding is that Sentinels are pretty good for a lot of the secondary objectives that we're seeing in 9th edition. A bit unsure about the Hydra or the Wyvern myself, but transports and troops for claiming those secondary and primary objectives are pretty key to sticking around in 9th edition and winning those valuable points to get you across the victory line. So for me, yeah, it's not bad, but would I still prefer to see a Lehman Russ? Yes, I probably would. Next up in value then is the Tau Starpulse Carder. Now this contains the 10 Fire Warrior Strike Team, which is valued at £30, 10 Pathfinders for £25, 3 Crisis Battlesuits for £45, 1 Broadside Battlesuit for £32.50, a Piranha for £22.50, a Commander Crisis Suit for £32.50, and then all the associated drones that you get within all of those suits. And there's a lot of drones across all of those kits, because basically they all come with a drone of some kind, whether that's a shield, gun, or whatever. But the total value of that is £187.50, so slightly better than the 3 sets that we've seen so far. I am not a Tau player, so it's very difficult for me to comment on whether this is something an existing Tau player would want to add to their forces, because I just imagine they've probably got all this already. So this is more, for me, like a start collecting Tau in one big lump than it is necessarily a expand what you've already got kind of battle force, which is where I feel the others are more likely pitched at. So yeah, this is an interesting one where it sits in the middle on value compared to the other 5 sets, but equally in the middle on whether this is an expansion force or a start collecting larger force. With people that have got, maybe a little bit more disposable income around that Christmas period, with gift vouchers and all that other good stuff that typically happens at that festive time. But if you've got comments on whether you think this is a great value kit, I'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Next, we're going to be taking a look at the Tyranids Brood Swarm. Now, this contains 16 Gene Stealers, that's 2 boxes of Gene Stealers for £45, 10 Gargoyles at £22.50, 3 Hive Guard / Tyrant Guard at £42.50, an Exocrine / Haruspex at £45, and the Hive Tyrant / Swarmlord kit for £35. Grand total of £190. I used to be a Tyranid player way back when, way before all these new kits were available. Back in sort of 3rd edition, I was a big Tyranid player. I used to run massive swarms rather than big monsters, basically because all the monsters were either from Forge World or were metal and terrible. But just looking purely at this force, there's a mixture of good churn in there. Gargoyles, yeah, I'm still not sure about those. Everyone loves a good Gene Stealer these days with some of those abilities to ping them up the board with double moves and everything. The Hive Guard, everyone loves Hive Guard who can shoot round corners. And then when it comes to the big monsters, the Hive Tyrant / Swarmlord I think is a mainstay in a lot of people's forces. And the Exocrine Haruspex I'm not convinced either way, because I am not a current Tyranid player. So again, if you've got comments on that in the section below, that's where you need to put them. So financial value, very, very strong. Content value, it's a little bit of a hodgepodge for me. I'm not sure whether they're aiming this at like a monstery type list, and then you've got some wing stuff, and then you've got stealers. Would a Broodlord kind of thing and more Gene Stealers have been more fitting? Something a bit more infiltratey, rather than throwing in a couple of large kits. It's a difficult one for me. I don't know whether they're just putting that in to boost the value of the set and make the numbers up, or whether it's just a little bit of a mix and match. But it does, for me, make a good expansion to a Tyranid player, rather than necessarily a start collecting, because you haven't got all the troops that you need realistically to be a standard Tyranid player, I'd guess. So it would fit a little bit in between for me. So it's probably more of an expansion than it is necessarily a start collecting. So it kind of fits with what I think Games Workshop are trying to do with their Christmas Battle Forces. This leads us on to the box number 6 and the Necron Eradication Legion. It contains 10 warriors at £29 a box, 5 immortals / death marks at £25, 5 Triarch Praetorian / Leash Guard kit for £30, a Canoptic Spider for £25, a Doom Scythe / Night Scythe at £37.50, a Technomancer at £20, and the marketing photo does show a Triarch Stalker in there, which is £32.50, but the original wording did not when it first came out. But Facebook did confirm via Games Workshop's Facebook page that the Triarch Stalker is in there, which means that there's a grand total of £199 worth of content in this box set, making it the most valuable in content compared to all the others by some way over the Chaos Space Marine one, for example. £34 more, in fact. Which does lead me to believe that these box sets may be different in value. They're not going to be a fixed £105 or £110. I think the lower end ones may come in just slightly cheaper than the Necron one, for example, or the Tyranid one. Now, is the Necron one any good? Again, I haven't played Necrons in a couple of years, but Idic Nick Beer is a Necron enthusiast, and I am sure he will reliably inform me that this is a bit of a mixed bag again. Warriors, yes. Immortals, yes. I know he loves his Triarch Stalker for those nice rerolls that you can get. The Technomancer is just now a fancy version of a Cryptek. The Canoptic Spider, does it really fit into this particular list? I'm not really sure if you were taking all of these models. And the Doom Scythe, Night Scythe, Flyer Spam used to be a thing, not so much anymore, but it is. They are pretty cool models. So for me, this again is a good expansion force to someone who already has lots of Necrons and wants to add some more models to it that perhaps they don't already have. I wouldn't really class this personally as a start collecting type of set, and they're not marketed as such, but I'm just sort of thinking kind of out loud of any new people getting into the hobby around Christmas and want to take advantage of those savings. But £199 is the most valuable in content, as I've said, and I think it's a pretty good box set compared to probably all the others. Not only is it the best value, I think it's got the best range of content. But I'd love to hear from you in the comments section what you think on that one. So there we go then, guys. That is all 6 of the Warhammer 40k Battle Forces for Christmas 2020. Talking about the content, my personal opinions about the contents, and then the value breakdown of the box sets within them. I'm sure Games Workshop will be giving us the price of this probably in the upcoming White Dwarf. That's normally when they give us the price tag that they're going to be selling these for. So expect to see that for, I think that'll be December's White Dwarf then. So yeah, that's when I expect to see that price. Although quite often the pricing does get leaked on Facebook or on Reddit and so on by those independents that do get hold of that pricing schedule ahead of time, and then that gets leaked out. Either way though, if these box sets do come in between that 105 and 115 price point, obviously there is some good savings to be had, almost up to sort of 45% with the Necrons if that comes in at sort of the 115 end, but more if it comes out the lower end. As to my favourite set of this, despite it being the least in value, I really like the Chaos set for its pure contents, and then probably the Necron set second. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new and enjoyed the breakdown. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And I'd love to hear from you in that comment section what you think of this year's Battle Forces. Are they a little bit miss compared to previously? Is it just a chance for Games Workshop to clear their backlog of stuff they've not sold this year, like I feel about the Primaris Space Marine collection? Or are you just going to go straight in and buy your favourite faction regardless? The comment section is that place, and I'd love to hear from you there. But until then, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I shall catch you guys on the next video.